Hey bakers, welcome back to another one of my videos where I show you how to make delicious treats at home. Today in the Baking from Scratch series, I will be sharing the pain au chocolat recipe, which is basically like a chocolate croissant. This is a Danish that can be enjoyed at breakfast or as a snack and a classic of French baking. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to my channel. So the first step of this recipe is actually making the laminated dough that is needed for croissants and danishes. I have linked the recipe in the card above and you can check out this video, then come back to this one for the next steps. Alright, so once your laminated dough is ready and has rested for at least 30 minutes, you can grab that and place it on a floured work surface. It is important to flour the work surface so the dough doesn't stick. The risk is, if your dough sticks, your butter might come out and you won't have any layers. So start by rolling gently your dough until reaching a 5mm thickness or so. This might take some time, so just be gentle and check as you go that the dough isn't sticking. So you want a dough that is 14 cm or 6 inches large. You also need to cut off the edges to let out the beautiful lamination. If you don't want to waste your offcuts, you can put them inside of the pastry before rolling, and if you're making another batch, you can simply add them with your initial dough. After that, you can go ahead and grab some small chocolate bars and place them on the dough, and then cut rectangles with the same width. Now for this, I have used specific chocolate bars for pain au chocolat, but you can totally get a pretty good result with a store-bought chocolate bar that you can cut in small pieces to fit the size of this bar I'm showing you. Once you've placed your chocolate bars on the dough, you can start rolling it or folding it to make the iconic pain au chocolat shape. Make sure you seal the dough well and remove any excess flour using your pastry brush. You can then add a second chocolate bar and keep rolling. All throughout this process, you need to make sure that you are removing excess flour with your brush. If the excess flour is not removed, the risk is that the pastry will not rise well when baking. While rolling the dough, make sure you do it very gently so the layers of butter remain intact. You can repeat this process as many times as needed until you run out of dough. You can also just place one single bar of chocolate if you don't want too much chocolate inside of it, and also if your initial bar is a bit bigger than the one I'm using here. So once you're done rolling, you can place the pastry on a baking tray that's covered with some parchment paper, and you can prepare some egg wash. Depending on what you have on hand, the egg wash can be just a simple egg yolk, but for this application, I'm actually going to be using an egg yolk as well as a tablespoon of heavy cream. You can also use some full-fat milk if you'd rather not use the heavy cream. Once you've mixed up your two ingredients, you want to whisk that very well until they're both combined. Then you can simply brush it over each pain au chocolat using a pastry brush. You can use a medium or a small pastry brush for this, and you want to make sure that you don't put any of it on the laminations or the layers, or else this won't rise well when baking. So now you can prepare a mildly warm place like your oven for the rising part. You can place a pot of warm water to add some humidity. Make sure the oven isn't hotter than 28 degrees C or 82 F. And once the rising is done, you can bake the pain au chocolat at 165 C or 320 F for 20 minutes or until golden brown. Once they're out of the oven, you want to let them cool at room temperature before you can serve them. There you go guys, this is the full pain au chocolat recipe. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. If you do make this recipe, be sure to share the result with me over on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're the first to see my next recipes. See you next week, and as always, bon appetit!